foods we have are different. Let's like, do you think he would eat balot? Do you think he would? You think he would?
Yeah.
I don't think I would.
I don't think he'll eat
Like
the actual
crunch.
like embryo. But
No, that's the thing that I
What
want.
else?
him
What
to
am I
eat.
gonna eat? The shell?
the penoy. The penoy part is the bottom part, which is like
All
you
the
know,
poop.
like the yolk in an egg.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
That's
And-
the only thing I've had.
But you have to eat it at night.
I
Because
would.
Why do I have to eat it at night?
Because it comes alive in the daytime.
it keeps your body warm.
Huh?
But the first guy who did it, the people who were like watched him do it, and they're like, "It's too late, Bill. It's too late. The eggs already formed, Bill. It's too late. You know,
There's an embryo in there.
you missed it.
Then-
Look, notice how we all made scrambled eggs, Bill? You did it. You're a little
Bill,
too late.
well, I tried cracking it open for the first time when I was younger. Like my mom bought it, and she was like, "Here, try it. It's for your culture." And then and then I tried cracking it open,
for
and
your
it
culture. Just
fell
fell.
right onto the counter.
Yeah.
Oh my
there's
god!
a
And then it like
specific-
chirped and ran away.
and that's my pet duck that I have at home. It can't be that bad, oh, 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 it can't be that bad.
Right. So my first year in college, I studied art history and comparative literature in
Nice.
Paris. Like I literally went from Benicia High and then was like
Straight to Paris?
peace. Went to Paris. Yeah, that's what I did. I didn't even like look at the campus. Like nothing. No tours.
You
nothing.
just knew you wanted to go to Paris.
And I got into university there.
Your parents weren't strict growing up?
Not really.
Whoa. What do you
Except for
think?
boyfriends.
Oh, really?
You
That
have
was-
to have 4 at a time. They're like,
It's never like
you
that.
need to be dating constantly, and you lie to one about the other one, and you book a date with one side of the restaurant, you have the other one on the other side of the restaurant, and then you run back and forth. You change your dress and your hat, and
I wish. No.
What? So, like, when you brought, did you date in high school?
Yeah, I did.
Because your current boyfriend, and you've posted a lot, was like your first?
My first boyfriend.
Wow. And then you
Ever.
guys reconnected later.
Yeah, so we were together sophomore year, and then like a year in high school is like forever, right?
Yeah.
And then we broke up junior year. That totally broke
Yikes.
my heart. I was like, I
Oh.
just can't do this anymore. I got all depressed.
no wonder you went to Paris.
It was horrible. Exactly.
Do you think that was part of it? Is just like,
I'm out of here.
Well, you both grew up in Benicia,
Yeah.
and it's like such a small town. So
Yes.
Well, yeah.
I didn't necessarily like grow up fully in Benicia, but I was there in middle school and high school.
Enough to hate it.
Enough to like be like, okay, this is because I grew up in Manila, right? In
Yeah.
the Philippines. And that place, if you guys have never been, is like extremely different from Benicia.
yeah.
It's like it makes San Francisco look mild.
Because I've never been. People always assume that I've been to
Yeah.
the Philippines. They
Yeah.
either think that I was like born there, that I was raised there, or that I've at least visited. In my 30 years of life, I have never been.
Well, I mean, I'll push back a little bit because we'll see.
What?
The data hasn't come out yet.
He keeps thinking that I don't know if you know this about me, but he was telling everyone in high school that I was from the Philippines, that English was my second language, and so they would be talking to me slow.
I never said that English was your second language. What I said was, look how far Christian's come from when we first met him. And then
Yeah.
everybody in their own mind connected to be like, oh yeah, I guess he didn't speak English when we met him. But it's like,
But he did.
no, it's just
I don't
like-
know why you wear this so proudly.
I don't know. It's just I kind of feel like like an MK Ultra kind of like mind inception kind of mind
Created a
fuck sort of
conspiracy
thing.
theory
For
in
nothing
high
and for
school.
nobody.
What was it like growing up in the Philippines and then coming here? When did you move here?
I was 9, but before then I lived in England.
Oh,
Nice.
So like I jumped. I always joke that I kind of grew up on like an airplane, you know, just like jumping country
always
to country.
travel.
Yeah. So growing up in the Philippines, I grew up in like a very low income neighborhood.
Yeah.
But like everybody knew everybody.
Sure.
The house that I lived in, and our house is still there. The land that it's in is actually my great grandfather's, who was a World War II hero. He actually has a name,
Most people
a
have
street
names.
named
Oh,
a street named after him.
Okay.
In the city I grew up in, and that
That's
was
cool.
That's
Martin
really
Luther
cool
King
growing
Boulevard.
up. Yeah, so like my last name's Bumatay, and then there's like Sergeant Bumatay Street.
wow. That's
where
awesome.
I grew up. Yeah, it's super cool.
Sergeant Bumatay.
Yeah.
That's really dope.
Yeah, right.
You said it like you know him.
That's so cool.
Wait a minute.
And then my grandfather, his son, was a well-known like policeman in that area. He was like a neighborhood policeman, like what the police should be, essentially. That's who he was. So he would like go to people's houses, check on them. Like he knew everybody. When people had issues, they would go to our house. So I was always around people. That's probably why I'm very energetic and extroverted. Because literally like strangers would come into our house. Like there was like an open door policy.
Weird.
You know, people would come in and be like, hey.
That's what I hear about a lot of
like,
neighborhoods in the Philippines, because that's how my parents grew up too, is that you would live on this street where everyone knew everyone.
Yeah.
If you needed food, like my father's mom, my grandma, would just make food for the entire, like her entire neighborhood.
Yeah. So, yeah, it was really interesting growing up there. I loved it. I never knew I was poor. I always tell people that because I always had food. Oops, sorry. Always had food. I had a roof over my head. I always had water, and I had people who loved me.
And that's what kind of growing up in the Philippines teaches you. Growing up materialistic in the States, and from what I've learned from my parents, is that like we got pretty good, because you're right. We got a roof over our heads. We got food on the table all the time. And finances, definitely plays an issue. Like when we get older and we have to like sustain a job and whatnot and pay bills.
Yeah.
But when you compare it to, that kind of lifestyle, and you grew up happy and you grew up with loved ones, that kind of teaches you differently.
Yeah, I think gratefulness is something that like I really care about. Being grateful for me has always sort of stuck out in like really bad situations. For example, when you move from the Philippines when you're 9 years old, and my parents, God love them, right? But they didn't have great planning skills, because when they took my family, so me and my brother, from the Philippines to England, it was from December to January.
Nice.
December, the Philippines is perfect. The weather is perfect. It's still very humid or whatever, but there's no storms, and it's not summer yet, and it's not like super hot.
And also Christmas time in the Philippines is wild.
The best. It's the best. I'm actually going this year, so
You are?
I'm excited. Yeah.
How often do you visit?
Every year. Yeah.
We should plan.
Honestly.
If we ever
in
get ICBTB Christmas in Manila would be nuts.
Oh my God, yeah.
As my first time going to the Philippines. It's just working and doing this podcast.
I would meet you guys for sure. But anyways, yeah, back to the England story. My parents were like, yeah, we're going to move to England. My parents had already been working there. So that's sort of like a lot of my separation anxiety comes from that time when my parents left to go work in a different country for, 11 months at a time. And then I would be like 6 years old and 7 years old, 8 years old, living with my grandparents. And like, that's it. Like there was no FaceTime, no Skype.
Yeah.
My parents, I still have letters from them that I kept.
That's so sweet.
Yeah. But like... I think
it's very
good enough. It seems like I don't know why you had any trouble with it. You had letters. What's the problem?
But it's so sad because like I was really sad like at the time. But I think for me, again, going back to that gratefulness aspect where I'm like, okay, I'm going to a nice school. I'm, learning different languages. I'm in a nice spot. My grandfather, my grandmother are here. I am loved.
Yeah.
It's so different, like feeling like you could. I feel like when you're loved, you can just like do anything. Like not to sound super
that's
like,
so good. Wow.
Like that's how I feel. I feel like anything is like possible.
Yeah.
Anyway, so my parents finally were like, "Yo, we miss you so much, and we finally have enough money to take you to England with us." And of course, I'm like, "Oh, I'm excited. I'll be with mom and dad, right?" I didn't fucking know what England was. You know what I'm saying? Like I knew how to speak English, and I knew like.
What was your concept of what England was at that age?
Oh my God,
and at
you
that
guys
time?
will fucking laugh. So my parents actually brought home like a DVD back when, computers were a thing. And you'd have to put like a floppy drive into the...
Okay, well, that's back in the day.
Like,
Changed to CDB.
Way back when. And like, anyway, I had to play these games, like UK British games that would like childhood games.
So
this is how they taught you
stuff
to teach stuff like about, I don't know.
Was it like similar to like what Oregon Trail was when you would play that in school? Are you familiar with the
Sorry.
Okay, Oregon Trail. Are you familiar with what the Oregon Trail was?
No.
Okay,
So-
so
Oh wait, like Sacagawea?
1786. Yeah, kind of. Yeah. So we
Similar,
bought
yeah.
Louisiana Purchase, and all the people were moving west. And
Manifest Destiny. And
Yeah.
we were like, we
okay.
gotta get these Indians out of here.
So
okay.
when we were in elementary school, for a lot of like people our age, I know that at least where I went to, there was this computer game on these old ass computers in elementary school, and they'd make you play the Oregon Trail, where you essentially control this family that is trying to move west to find a better life. But it was the most difficult game, and you would
People are dying all the time.
you're
Cholera.
losing sons.
People get shot when they go hunting.
Wait, didn't we play this in like elementary school?
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
So
okay. I
were
didn't...
these games that you were playing to learn about England, was it similar to that?
No.
Okay.
No, it was more like, this is who Queen Elizabeth is.
Okay.
This is how you say water. This is how these are the seasons in England. This is what snow is.
Whoa.
You know, stuff like that. Because like I don't fucking know what snow is. Like imagine like
In the Philippines, all you know is just, well, especially in the city, so you know what the city life is.
Yeah.
You know what, you've seen the province.
Yeah.
But you don't know what the fuck snow is.
yeah. But I learned how to swim in the ocean. You know what I'm saying? Like stuff like that.
Okay.
So it's kind of different.
Not gonna help in England.
Exactly. So I went to England, and I remember we went to we landed in London Heathrow,
Okay.
and I was wearing a jean jacket, right?
Those are illegal in England, because you don't know this, but in England those are illegal.
No denim.
So they
no
sent
denim.
her right back on the plane. They said, go home and change.
Yeah, in the middle of January, by the way,
Yikes.
mind you. And I'm like so excited. I come out of the airport, and I remember it's just like, you know, the sliding doors. Like running. Like this huge, like negative, I don't know, 10-degree chill. Just,
Oh, shit.
and I'm like, oh my God.
You
Like,
still remember it.
what the fuck is that? I looked up, yes, of course, because it's like the first time I felt like being in a freezer, you know? Where I looked at my mom, I was like, where the fuck am I? Like, what is this place? And we ate KFC that day too. That was hilarious. That was the
Nice.
first meal I had in England. KFC.
To remind you of home, though.
Right. Sure. Yeah, actually though, chicken with rice, that's what we ate.
That's all you need.
Yeah, but
What was the coldest it ever got in the Philippines?
A balmy,
Dumb
a
question.
balmy 62.
Super dumb.
It was 62, but boy, was the breeze hard. The trees were moving.
okay, in Manila, the coldest it'll ever get is probably 73.
Jeez.
Like,
do you like
ever.
Do you have a preference? Do you like hot weather now
I gotta wear
because
my
you grew
thick
up
shorts
there?
this year.
Okay, so different spots in the islands, right? There's 7,000 islands. in
Yeah,
the
which is
Philippines.
crazy to think about.
Yeah. So like,
Because you've been to how many?
0,
We'll
but
see.
I just know
We'll
that there are
see.
about
his
7,000.
heart's been there.
Yeah,
Well,
my
I'm sure
heart
more than that, actually.
stays there.
We'll see.
In Manila, it's always hot, but like there's always sort of still a breeze because the bay is there. But like it honestly depends on where you're at. Like if you're where I grew up now, unfortunately, are like where I grew up surrounded by a lot of high rises. So like there's no wind that
Blocks
goes down
everything.
in those like
Oh.
places. So it feels like, you know, like a personal hell sometimes where you're sitting there and you're like, I need AC and I
Yeah.
need to breathe. And then there are spots like other islands, like Cebu, for example, which is in like the south, like central south area.
South Central.
Yeah. Like gorgeous, just perfect, you know, like.
So
okay.
weird. Because South Centrals here in America are really bad and ghetto.
Yeah.
But Cebu's like the place to be. Like
It's really
that's awesome.
nice. It's also, it was the first time I went last year, actually. And it was our first trip out of Manila. We had 3 weeks, and every single week we flew out of Manila, going to different islands. Because really, like,
It's a main
it's
hub.
cheap, but also, like, you have to fly out to different islands. Unless you're in the north and you want to, like, just see the big island in the
That's
north.
what I hear. Every single time I talk to people that have been to the Philippines and I tell them, like, I want to go, they say, hey, there's a particular way that you need to travel if you want to make it.
There's 3 ways.
There's jet ski, there's jet pack,
There's a boat. You can take a canoe all the
and
way
jet
from...
plane.
Like, in order to get to an island, you have to you have to get to the airport, right? If you're in Manila. So you're in a van. You get to the airport, you fly out of a plane for like, I don't know, 45 minutes to an hour and a half.
They can't be big planes either, right? Are they
They're like
smallish planes?
kind of like when you fly from here to LA.
Sure, 747s.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just like smaller. And then when you get there, it depends on where you're at. Like, for example, you guys have heard of Palawan.
Yeah.
Okay, so I love Palawan. It's my
Palawan's
favorite.
like, I mean, I've heard of it. Can you explain it to him?
Oh, no, I know.
Yeah.
Okay, explain it right now.
It's an island in the Philippines.
Okay, that's very vague. Let's get more specific.
It's an island in the Philippine country.
Okay, that is, if anything, you're the worst
It's just
bullshitter.
getting worse.
It's an island in the Atlantic Ocean.
And it's like it's a beautiful, I mean, there's resorts there.
They call it the last frontier of the Philippines because it's what it was supposed to look like. Or it looked like way back when.
Before everything.
So Palawan's actually essentially a geo-reserve. So like it's protected. Like you can't touch it. So when you go there, it's like jungle and like the ocean is completely blue. And just imagine like waters that are like 80 degrees. And you jump in, there's fish everywhere and coral and sea turtles.
And how often do you go to Palawan when you go?
For the past like 5 years, I've gone twice.
Oh, wow.
Wow, that's often. That's good.
Yeah. And
you live a good life.
I like to save.
Nice.
But when you're there, it's like you get a feel for, who people are. And it's really interesting. I love Palawan because, well, one, the main island is called, well, one of them, it's called Busuanga, and that's where Coron is. That's like well known. There's two. There's Coron and then there's El Nido. So like Coron is here and the El Nido is like right here. Two different airport hubs. And in Coron, you have like a big island full of people who just like literally walk around the island. There's no police. There's people like police each other and keep each other accountable.
Nice.
Where they're like, hey, how are you doing? What do you need help with? Blah, blah, blah. And then our first time there, we had no idea what we were getting ourselves into. Like that was the first time I actually went island hopping, where you go on a boat that's made out of bamboo for like 8 hours.
Whoa.
You're on the water for like the entire day.
Does it not freak you out? Like, do you have, since you grew up around water, you're not scared to just be in a boat for that long?
No.
I feel like
Are you scared of open water?
I'm just scared because I don't swim very well, and I should learn how to swim very well. And I feel like if I'd grown up in the Philippines, I would know how to swim much better.
You'll have a life vest.
Okay, then good. We're good for 8 hours.
Yeah,
okay.
when you go island hopping, you actually get on the boat. You have a captain, a chef. Sometimes the captain is the chef. So before you even go,
you have a chef on the bamboo boat.
Yeah,
How big is this bamboo
I'll tell you
boat?
how it goes.
Okay.
One, you can get like a group tour, so that usually has like 10 people. It's a larger boat. Bamboo is actually stronger in the water. I don't know if you guys know this.
Of course.
Yeah, so
I didn't know that. Okay, I'm learning stuff.
I heard it's stronger than steel in the water. So,
What?
Yeah.
So this could withstand anything.
Well, hang on here.
I mean,
Even the Titanic sank too, pal.
Yeah,
Let's not get too excited here.
This could withstand many things. Let's just say
They're not
that.
making warships out of bamboo.
I'm not thinking that.
But they use it for scaffolding, and they do use it for a lot of stuff.
Yeah, they do. So you get a captain who can sometimes be the chef, or you can get a captain and a chef, and then you have a lifeguard.
Okay.
And an island tour guide. So he's essentially the same thing. Usually it's a guy. And
That's cool.
These are all
Guard guide.
locals. So what you do is before you even get on the boat, it depends on where, you start. Our first time, we didn't even know this was a thing. So what we did was we literally went to a palenque, which is a wet market. That
Nice.
means that there's
Say the word.
Palenque.
Okay, doing good. Yeah.
there's fresh fish, fresh meats, fresh vegetables, and then you go and go into the palenque and then you buy a bunch of fresh foods. You find literally right around the corner a bunch of boats, and then you go there and you're like, hey, I kind of want to go and adventure in Palawan. And they're like, oh, we got you, right? And it's usually 3 dudes, 3 men, all locals, and then they take you all around the islands. You take your food with them, and they have, I shit you not, a charcoal burner on the boat. So while you're swimming, they're cooking fresh seafood, fresh meats, grilling stuff, and you're when you get on the boat, you have lunch.
How much is it for this package?
For 4 people, it was 5,000 pesos. So that's around.
That's pretty cheap. That's cheap.
Less than 200.
Pesos. Oh.
Right, look at what's the currency exchange from peso to
It's
dollar?
53 right now.
Okay.
So it's 200.
Because the way that I
closer.
used to calculate let's find out.
Wait, what? 53 cents to the dollar?
53 pesos to the dollar.
Oh, okay.
So $94 actually. Sorry,
$94 for
Four
to
people.
feed 4 people
for the entire day.
That's crazy cheap. And the way I used to calculate how much the currency exchange was for the peso to the dollar was, do you remember the game show Wow Wowie on TFC?
Yeah.
So this is a Filipino game show that my mom used to put on all the time back when I lived over there in Benicia, and then back when I lived in Pittsburgh.
In Benicia, okay.
And
Almost got him this time. See how he slips up sometimes? See how he almost
I wish I could
slips
say
up
I've
sometimes?
been, but when they would win, they'd be like, "Yeah, you won 20,000
20,000
pesos." And I'm like,
yeah.
Mom, how much is that?
Yeah.
And she would give me this general breakdown of like 1,000 pesos is about $20. And
Yeah.
I don't know, I'm not going to math right now, but that's how I knew at the time how much that was. But that blows my mind.
Yeah.
For less than $100, you could feed 4 people in a beautiful resort in the Philippines with that kind of experience.
Beautiful islands.
awesome.
You get private beaches. You get everything. I've snorkeled in the, like green turquoise waters in the rain while it's storming. I've like.
Why do you want to come back here? Like, why don't you just stay here? You just come back to like Concord?
There's more work to do here.
That
I
makes
think.
sense.
So I think, I love Filipinos, obviously. Duh. I also happen to be part of the Filipino American community.
Yeah.
And what I know from back home and what is here, there's something missing, right? And for the longest time, I always felt like, I don't know what I'm doing here. You know what I'm saying? Like, I always felt kind of lost.
What you're doing here in California?
Yeah, like abroad.
In general,
Oh, I
UK
see.
or US. But I always thought, going back to that gratefulness mindset where I'm like, I'm here, I might as well do something good, versus sitting here and being,
Doing bad.
yeah.
Robbing
Or
banks.
just not
and
doing anything.
Kidnapping kids. Blowing up
Yeah.
orphanages.
Can you tell what goes on in his mind all the time?
It's actually just a laugh track.
Yeah.
That's it. When no one else is laughing, you just say your own joke. You're like, okay, that did good. I like what you said earlier. With love, you could kind of do anything. I feel like anyone that's listening to this right now or watching this is gonna learn a lot from that, because around this age, because like we said that we're like 3 years older than you, right? You were a freshman.
I'm
when
almost
we were
30.
seniors. And at that age, it's okay. I just turned 30. I don't want to see you make that face. And he's
Oh, yeah.
next.
Happy birthday.
Oh, thank you
happy
so much.
birthday!
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
June
thanks.
28th.
This is my birthday episode.
Well, kind of.
All the brownies are gone for you.
I ate one. Okay, just for
They're not here
context.
for show.
Just shut up right now.
He said, go get the brownies.
Christine did a beautiful thing when you came into my house into the studio. You brought in brownies made from Filipino cacao. And
They're now
I
gone.
was so grateful. Alejandro said, "Why the fuck are we not eating this in the studio while we record?"
Yeah.
And I said, "Okay." While I was setting up, he went downstairs to grab the brownies, brought them up. I finished setting up. There was one brownie left in the Tupperware.
I was reaching for it already.
Yeah, what the? Yeah, and I had nothing yet. These are crumbs. I had one brownie left. Thank you
Don't shake it at me.
for making it.
Don't shake it.
But
I'll come back with a pan next time.
please, a
whole
whole
pan.
Like
pan.
a type of bread.
Well, with this guy, he just inhales all of this food that is brought in.
I like that though. I like that he's not picky.
No, I've never seen a
never
plate
been
I don't
picky.
like.
Yeah.
My mom has fed him on multiple occasions, and Filipino food is kind of
Sometimes it's got fur
Unorthodox.
on it. One time it had an eyeball, just like winked at me.
shut the fuck
And I was
up.
like, all right, let's get it in.
Good
Let's
sweet
go.
spaghetti.
I love it.
You asshole.
I I love all your mom's food.
Yes.
But there has been times where I'm eating and I'm like, Christian, what is this that I'm eating? And you're like, I don't know.
We'll break
I
it
don't
down
know.
for you. Dinuguan. I don't think you've ever actually had that.
I don't know. I don't know.
All right, let's describe dinuguan to him real quick, and
Okay.
we'll see if he'll eat it.
That's the Pokemon that evolves into Sea King.
Okay, can you break it down for him real
Sure.
quick?
Dinuguan is a pork stew
Okay.
that is cooked in pork blood,
Nice.
fresh pork blood, and a big sile chili. Now you can
Just
just
like
use
the bay leaf.
in this country you use jalapenos, but
Yeah.
in the Philippines you can use like really tiny Thai chilies
Sure.
that are super super spicy. You could also use serrano, and then you just let it cook with a lot of garlic. My mom uses a lot of garlic.
Nice.
Seems oily.
I don't think there's onions in it, actually. No, there's no onions. But yeah, it's really yummy when it's cooked fresh.
Yeah. I bet it's not good cold.
But it fends off white people when you say when
My
you
boyfriend
lead with.
loves dinuguan.
Okay, at first did he?
Yes.
Like, did you describe it to him?
Yes. Yeah.
See, the move is to let people eat it and then tell them afterwards what it is.
I told him.
Then he's one of a kind.
Yeah, he is.
That's good. Aww.
He's like, okay, I'm over the lumpia and pancit. Give me everything else.
Oh, he's leveled up.
Oh yeah. Oh no. He came with us back home last year, and when we were going island hopping, I was really afraid in a way at first because first of all, it was his first time leaving the U.S. ever.
Oh, he never left.
So like the Philippines is his first country like outside.
Well, he's beaten me because I don't even have a passport, so I've never left the country.
Not an American
Come
passport.
on, guys.
I'm trying.
You bought a house. You can afford to travel.
No, we bought a house. Now we can't afford to travel. Is how it works.
Tell the truth, Christian. You hate other cultures. You love American first. You say this
I'm
doesn't get
so
better than
proud
home.
of my culture. I'm eating Filipino food all the time. I'm excreting the
But you
smells
don't
of
want to
Filipino
go.
food.
You're like, I like to enjoy
I've been
it. I don't want
wanting to
go.
go.
There.
My parent every single time, because my parents haven't been back since the 80s.
Oh shit.
Yeah, so
One
ever
of
since
those.
they came here, one of those.
There's a lot of those.
Why?
My relatives. I think for a lot of reasons. I'm not gonna speak for your parents, but I'm gonna speak for like my relatives.
Okay.
I think some of them are like it's very expensive to go back, which
Makes
I mean, traveling is expensive, right? So
Especially there, I think the most expensive thing about going to the
flight.
Philippines is going to the
yeah,
Philippines.
yeah. The plane ticket's gonna
Most
cost
South
you
Pacific places are like that. Yeah.
like between 1,300 to 2,000
Yeah.
for like economy, depending on the season.
Also,
But when you're there,
you're there, beautiful. Things
Yeah.
are affordable.
yeah, exactly, way affordable.
But I can't, I haven't sat on a plane for more than 5 hours. Like the furthest I think I've traveled is Hawaii and New York,
Okay.
which are 5 to 6 hour flights.
Yeah.
And I'm
You start
hating-
standing for the last 3 hours.
It's exhausting to sit down for that long.
I
which-
actually prefer longer haul flights than 5-hour flights because longer haul flights, I feel like,
sleep
you know,
the whole
I can
time.
hunker down.
Uh-huh.
I can watch like all my downloaded movies.
I'm
Oh,
living here
nice.
for 13 hours.
Yeah.
Well, how much space are you getting on these long flights?
The economy, I mean, if it's
Not as much as
economy, right?
About as much as and I have to sit like this with my legs tucked in.
like-
You get a little
yeah.
bit more back.
No,
and
no, no, no.
forth.
Okay.
You can do this.
I could at least do that.
But you
All
can
right.
also get like economy plus,
Uh-huh.
where you get more leg room.
serve
Another
your
thing
food
for
first.
me, I mean, I guess now we're older too, where I
Mm.
am looking at spots on the plane where I'm like, okay, where are like the roomier spots?
Mhm.
But I did a lot of traveling prior to 2020, which I was a lot younger,
Yeah.
and I didn't really give a shit, right? I was like, okay, this is just a mode of transportation from point A to point B. When I get to point B, that's when I'm gonna
Party.
just sleep for like 2 days and
Okay.
then we're good. So honestly, what you need to focus on is mostly like, the hotel that you're in, right? Like
That makes
when
sense
you
because
get
you're gonna be there most of the time.
Yeah. And speaking of Filipino food, once you're there, most hotels have free breakfast. And by
Ooh.
breakfast, I mean like buffets, like intense.
And it's
like, a
not
lot.
just your typical
No.
continental breakfast that you'll get at
No.
a
They're not
fucking
part of the
Motel
continent.
6. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
it's way different.
Continent.
What do they have?
You
They
can't
like,
expect their continental breakfast to be the same as ours, Christian. That's that's vaguely racist. For
shut
you
the
to
fuck
assume
up, dude.
that their
You are a
continental
gaslighter.
breakfast-
You are a gaslighter.
Their continent is completely different. Their continent of
The way you're
of
acting
Asia?
right now is as if
Of
you're more
Asia?
Filipino. This guy, and I'm bringing it up every time. He found out that are you a little bit of Filipino?
Yeah, it's part of the hodgepodge.
Did you do the 23andMe?
Yeah, he spat in the soup.
Ancestry.com.
Yeah, and he
Okay.
found
Spit.
out.
Oh, I was supposed to put spit in the
How
tube?
much percentage are you?
Oh, I'm mostly Mexican.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we're cousins.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah,
cousins.
I mean,
Yeah.
like half these foods you're describing is like it's like menudo and shit like that.
Right,
like,
right.
like I get most of this
We
stuff.
were all invaded by Spain. Was what
Exactly.
happened.
That's why we're cousins.
That's
Yes.
yeah.
But the foods we have are different. Do you think he would eat balot? Do you think
Yeah.
he would? You think he would?
Yeah.
I don't think I
Ah.
I don't think he'll eat
Like
the actual
crunch.
like embryo, but
No, that's the thing that
would.
I
What,
want.
else,
him
what
to
am I
eat.
going to eat? The shell?
the penoy. The penoy part is the bottom part, which is like
All
you
the
know,
poop.
like the yolk in an egg.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
That's
And
the only thing I've had.
It tastes really good.
I mean, hey, when in Rome, I guess.
It honestly does, but you have to eat it at night because
I would.
Why do I have to eat it at night?
Because it comes alive in the daytime.
it keeps your body warm.
Huh?
Because your body's like, fuck, I gotta get rid of this.
Wait.
I don't know if this is like
What are you saying to me
Manila
right
thing,
now?
But like in Manila, we eat balot at night. Like the balot guys, like they come at night.
Balot guys.
The our kuya balots.
Yeah.
What are you saying to
sense.
me right now?
Like
There's
the
just
guy-
people specifically for balot, like how there's taho guys and there's
Yeah.
Oh, and they come around with a cart with just balot.
No, dude, they come
They hold
around
them in
with
their hands.
baskets,
They
like
start
a
juggling.
wicker basket
Whoa.
covered in newspapers.
And they would tell you, and ever since you were a kid, they said...
like this balloon.
Yes, exactly.
Exactly that. They say that. Not that I've ever been.
I understand street vendors, okay? I get it. Yeah.
Yeah, balot.
Wait, so as a kid, they told you that if you eat balot, you're going to stay warm?
Well, you get balot at night. They don't have balot like in
at
the
the
day.
stores?
No.
Yeah, I mean,
That's
I'm
weird.
just saying.
No, it's not like an egg, you know. That's why I don't eat balot here.
So it's almost like you guys are hiding it. Like maybe we shouldn't be eating these eggs and just like let them be.
It's like a delicacy. It is a delicacy, not like a delicacy.
But the first guy who did it, the people who like watched him do it, and they're like, "It's too late, Bill. It's too late. The eggs already formed, Bill. It's too late. You know,
there's an embryo in there.
You missed it. Look, notice how we all made scrambled eggs, Bill. You did it. You're a little
Bill
too late.
was this guy that had
Bill's like, I'm doing it again.
Very adamant,
doing it again,
and then broke it open and found out that this is actually delicacy.
And somebody's like, fine, I'll try it. And they're like, wait a minute, now I'm warm.
Well, have you eaten it to the point where it was actually
warm?
developed and you feel the crunch of the beak?
Yeah.
Wow. Did that bother you?
I hate it. I don't like the beak.
Because I tried breaking it up.
Is anybody like my favorite part is the
some people.
crunchy beak?
I mean, there's some people out there with different types of palates, but yeah, when I was little, we would eat balot probably like once a month, like at night.
To keep you warm.
To keep us warm.
To keep you warm.
Because the nights are cold, right?
I'm listening.
Cold.
Yeah.
And you eat it with salt. You know this, right?
I know that part, yeah.
So you break
Eat
it,
most things
and then
with
there's a liquid. That's my favorite part.
Oh, there's a soup in there, which is
the
actually really
soup
good.
is my favorite part. It's also very nutritious.
I was gonna say, I imagine that part has all the like when people eat the afterbirth and stuff like that, it's called all
The placenta,
nutrients.
ew.
Yeah.
See, I wanted to actually, because on this show, sometimes we do like little mini challenges, because it can't be
You
that
want to do a
bad.
balot challenge?
We wanted to do a balut challenge.
Yeah,
but,
I think you should do that in the Philippines.
We film in the daytime though.
Yeah.
It's already hot in here.
It's already warm. I was thinking about for this episode, like if I got all three of us balut.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not nighttime right now.
I hear the smell is rough.
No.
No. Just the look. Everything else but the smell and taste is rough.
The smell
But
is
the
like
smell and taste.
it just smells like egg.
Yeah.
Which
When
is
I
a fine
tried
smell,
cracking
I
it
guess.
open for the first time when I was younger, like my mom bought it and she was like, "Here, try it. It's for your culture." And then and then I tried cracking it open and it
just
fell
fell.
right onto the counter.
Yeah,
Oh my god! And then it like chirped and ran away.
and that's my pet duck that I have at home. But yeah, that shit was scary as shit. But okay, cool. Thank you for consoling me there.
Yeah, no, it's cool. What else? I did some weird shit growing up, man. Like I've eaten some things.
Like what have you? Yeah, because this is a perfect transition to go into you being a foodie because you've eaten everything.
Pretty much.
Okay, list
and
out.
I'm a really picky eater. Like with regards to like flavors and taste because I've eaten a lot. What's the question?
What were these foods? You're the one that was prefacing like you've eaten some crazy shit. I've eaten some
like
crazy shit,
chicken
man.
intestines, for example. Right? Isaw. It's called isaw, and then you grill it. So I will not eat it unless I see like somebody cleaning out the intestine in front of me.
Makes sense.
Because you have to.
Yeah.
And then you grill it with like, sauces and things like that. And it's really good.
And
it's
this is something
chewy.
you would get like at the street markets in
For
the
like 5
Philippines.
pesos. I don't know how much now. Probably 15 because of inflation.
Which is still crazy cheap.
Yeah, but like 15 for one isaw? No thanks.
That's literally tripling the
Yeah,
original price.
yeah.
Okay.
What else? Merienda, right?
No, what is that?
Merienda is like a afternoon snack.
Also
So
at night.
in the Philippines,
You guys have a lot of weird rules with foods. Like there's a
We
daytime
do.
food, nighttime food,
We
not a
do.
continental breakfast, only at night.
so we have breakfast, and a lot of Filipinos wake up really early because I don't know if it's just because we're energetic or because it gets hot really early.
I would imagine that.
Is it because if you don't make breakfast with those eggs, they become the balot at night? And you're like,
There's a time
we
limit.
have to get up early to cook them.
Dude, not every
Otherwise-
fucking egg that we have in the Philippines is a duck egg.
Okay, I'm
It's
just
not
asking.
a duck,
It
it's
should
a
be though,
chicken
'cause
egg.
I do like duck egg is a better egg for baking and food. and
Also,
cooking.
I have a theory as to why Filipinos might wake up early. There's a lot of chickens there, right? Just running around. I'm assuming.
Sure. I
Gotta
mean, I
get
even
'em
had
first.
a rooster in the backyard. I didn't have a backyard, but just like in the back of our complex.
It was our neighbor's backyard. We
Yeah.
used it.
So you have breakfast probably at like 7. That's actually pretty late. So
Mm.
like 6 is usually when people wake up at 5. Like I grew up waking up at 5.
Sure.
And slept at like 12.
Whoa,
so what the fuck is
whoa.
a bedtime? Like seriously. I don't know why.
And you still have this energy after just only getting because you're primed to only have 5 hours of sleep.
Nowadays, I need 7 to 8.
Sure, most people do.
Anything over 8, I'm like
Groggy.
super groggy.
Yeah, same.
So, so we have breakfast and then we have lunch, which is usually really big, right?
We also have lunch.
Yeah, I know, right? And then we have merienda, which is the afternoon snack.
Okay,
So,
what is merienda? Like
merienda is like a snack. You can have anything pretty much. Like I used to have like hamburgers for a snack, or
so
like,
merienda is just the name for
like a 3 to 5 p.m. snack.
Interesting.
But usually it's something like a street vendor snack, like halo halo, or like mais con hielo, which is like I love mais con hielo.
Okay, that's corn with jello, right?
Ice.
Ice? Yeah. Oh, yellow is ice. Yes.
Yellow,
Okay.
yeah. So it's like ice and shaved. I mean, it's shaved ice essentially,
With
or
corn.
like grated ice, and then you put evaporated milk, condensed milk, and then corn, and you just mix it together.
See, corn's a weird thing that I know that we Filipinos have changed more from like a savory snack into a sweet one because we have ice cream. There's this brand of ice cream.
Corn ice cream in Mexico too, bro. It's really popular.
It's not a competition. I'm just telling you what my perspective is.
Like corn tamales are like really sweet.
Yeah, sweet corn tamales and
corn.
stuff. And
See, I'm not.
I know
really,
sweet corn.
Yeah.
Okay,
I love corn.
Sounds good.
I'm a big corn guy.
I was gonna say that there's like the corn flavored magnolia ice cream.
Yeah.
That I'm like I kind of dig, but it's like
Yeah.
not my thing.
Yeah.
But then we also does the Latin community do this? Turn cheese into like into a sweet thing because there's queso flavored ice cream. You like
sweet
that?
cheeses and
love
savory
queso ice
cheeses.
cream.
Yeah.
It's
I
interesting.
just put this on my threads. You guys have threads yet?
We do.
It's
I'm
just
on it.
waiting for us. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm on threads because now I hate Twitter, and I just
everyone.
put like I love queso ice cream. People are like, me
Freaking
too.
out.
Yeah, I fucking love it.
Because it's controversial.
It is my favorite ice cream flavor of all time.
Really?
And I've had way too much ice cream.
Sure.
I've had, Italian gelato.
Of course.
Ice cream that's like churned and then like, I don't know.
And that's still
The top.
The top of
Yeah,
everything
and
else.
I want like the normal. I mean, there's more than a few kinds. One kind is like the cheddar cheese one. That's the original one.
That's crazy to me because cheddar's such a strong
flavor.
flavor.
I don't even like cheddar cheese on like my sandwiches, to be honest.
Yeah.
with you.
So think about it this way: you have like a vanilla base, right? And then you have the sharpness of the cheddar.
Sure.
So you have the saltiness and kind of the bitterness.
I guess so.
It's like
And then
when you put cheddar cheese on an apple pie. And
It's
you
like
get,
umami.
Yeah.
Cheddar cheese.
Okay, that
have you
makes
ever done
sense.
that?
No.
That's a big thing in like Wisconsin. They always serve apple pie with a slice of cheddar cheese.
I want to try that. That sounds good.
It is good. It is good.
I mean, what are
Sometimes
your guys'
melt it
thoughts?
a little bit.
Like a fruit salad. I love fruit
Like
salad.
Filipino fruit
What'd you call
salad.
me?
Filipino fruit salad. I'll call you anything, brother. But
Brother.
fruit salad.
You're getting me going, pal.
Fruit salad. A Filipino fruit salad. Melissa's family makes it this way, but then it just goes this other way when they put shredded cheese all over the fruit salad, and I'm like,
So you want it on the side.
I want it. I just don't want it there.
okay.
I want it on the side of
far
my
away.
fries or something. But on the fruit salad, it just needs to stay
Fruity.
fruity
And coconutty.
Yeah. I mean, what are your thoughts on it?
I love cheese.
Like in anything at that point.
Pretty much. I mean, cheese ice cream is my favorite.
Yeah, at that point, I
know.
should even be having this conversation with you. Okay.
I actually really like the cheese in the fruit salad, but my favorite part of the fruit salad is just the fresh coconut. That's it.
Yes.
It's just the best.
So good.
It's so good.
And you cook a lot too, right?
Too much.
Like half of your posts
Yeah, I
is just
just
you
all
mixing
food.
something in a pot.
Check it out, guys.
Yeah, that's all I do.
What's your favorite thing to make?
Oh my god, I hate this question.
Oh,
hate
what's
your
your
top
What's your
10?
wait? What's your least favorite thing to make?
Ooh, good question.
Hey, you like how that works? You like how that fucking works?
So mad.
Least favorite thing to make. Oh god, hold on.
My girlfriend makes me make turkey burgers a lot. I fucking hate making turkey burgers.
Why?
Because it's relax here. It's uninspired cooking. It's just like I'm gonna make it and put it in a bun, and then it's like it's nothing.
Just like that, right?
Yeah, I'd like to have a little more fun and put a little pizzazz to it.
You could
and then
caramelize your onions.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then roast your
No,
tomatoes.
I make it bad on purpose so that she doesn't ask for it again. It's like,
okay.
oh, sorry, I burnt it this time.
I think you put garlic aioli.
Yeah. I do like to have fun with my sauces.
Avocado.
I always
and then
like
add some turkey bacon. Sorry.
I always
just
like
keep
to
going.
make a little bit of a Big Mac sauce, but whatever, with like homemade Big Mac sauce.
Yeah.
Chop my own pickles. do
Yeah,
my
yeah,
own,
yeah.
Well, how come? What's the difference between making a turkey burger and a regular burger? I mean, I understand the turkey and beef, but like, what's the difference to you?
It's just boring. I mean, I just
Burgers in general are boring.
Yeah.
What do you want to make her, like a fucking beef Wellington?
I hate that question. I like to make.
Dude, I'm just gonna stop asking questions.
I would honestly, a beef Wellington is something I've always wanted to attempt. If there's something that like I've never tried, but I kind of like I've watched so many videos on how to make a beef Wellington.
Yeah.
And like I
Never executed.
No, I think I get it. And like
Calm
I
down.
made bechamels before. No, I've never. Relax. The prosciutto, I like it. I already even know like I know what kind of like the special mustard I would use too to like keep it bind it together.
Yeah.
But I've just never. But I have experimented with cooking food. So I mean, I like to. I was just telling him downstairs. I introduced Christian and Mel to the show. Is It Cake? And they're like, oh well, you like to cook, and I was like, I don't like to bake though. My grandfather's a baker. My brother's a baker.
Yeah.
They can bake like it's nobody's business, but
But you like to cook.
I can't. Yeah, I learned out of necessity, and now I like to have a little bit of fun with it.
There's a moment where I see you in the zone with cooking. It's when he puts the kitchen towel over his shoulder.
Oh, yeah.
That's when you don't talk to Alejandro.
best.
Yeah, because
and you know I'm having fun when I put it in between my legs and go.
and then whipping everyone in the kitchen.
That's what makes his food good.
Someone take the tequila away from Alex. Take the tequila away.
Okay, within that time that he was talking, did you find out your least
My
favorite
least
food?
favorite food? Shit.
So nothing.
I think, well, I'm trying to think like if there's a cuisine that I don't like to cook, and there isn't really one. I hate cooking boring food. Like, I think it's
Turkey
just.
burgers.
Yeah. Or like.
What's a boring food to you then?
Something that you have to make fun on the outside. Like a turkey burger is only fun with like she said, the garlic aioli. You add a little bacon, you make the buns nice. But then it's not the turkey burger that's fun. It's all the other shit you put on there.
Oh, I know.
So anything can be fun. Okay, what is it?
Meal preps. Like when I had like my gym girl phase, I had like a PT and like a nutritionist and all this stuff.
Whoa.
And they would like tell me what to cook. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, why are you telling me what to cook? And like also weighing stuff.
I've never weighed any food in my
unless
life.
it's from baking. Like I think with baking, you have to weigh stuff
That's
and
necessary.
measure things.
Baking
But,
is a science, cooking's an art.
right, exactly. Which is why I like cooking a lot more. Like I like to bake, definitely.
spirit.
But yes. But cooking, I love cooking. I love to cook Mexican food, Italian food, and Filipino food the most.
Wow.
Top
Did you ever
three.
like make
weird
fusion
smelling
foods
house.
between all of those? Do you ever just experiment?
Sometimes
Because that's what's popping right now is just like fusion restaurants, right?
Yeah, thanks.
I have a hot take on fusion restaurants.
Oh, hey, say it.
I don't like most of them. To
That's
be
right.
honest.
Separate but equal.
I
I'm with
don't-
her.
So like a senor.
Segregation.
No, it's not what she's saying.
No, sorry, what am I
Don't
saying? I
listen to him.
misunderstood. I thought
So like
we
a
were going the
senor
wrong way.
sisig, is that piss you off? Like,
It
let's take
doesn't
this.
piss me off. It doesn't piss me off.
You're not going to protest it.
No.
But
I love Senior Sisig. I love the
Okay.
concept of it. I think it's 100% Californian, right?
Yeah,
Like it
yeah, yeah,
makes sense
Yeah.
here. If you take this idea and put it in the Philippines,
No
though,
good. Yeah, of course.
then it's like
They'll freak out.
not necessarily, but there are a lot more, Filipino food connoisseurs there.
Sure.
Yeah.
They're not going to do
Whether-
Mexican sushi in Japan, but Mexican sushi in downtown LA is like the most hopping spot.
Right,
That makes
exactly. So, like in the Philippines, there's, sisig places are a dime a dozen. Like they're everywhere. And they're made a certain way. And people know what they want.
Sure.
Right? Like they want the crispiness, they want the chewiness, they want to hear that sizzle. Like when you go to Senor Sisig, you don't hear any of that. You just get it like in a burrito or like a plate or whatever. It's not like in
Yeah,
one big
you're right.
cast iron plate where they give it to you and then you put like
You
that
do what you do.
calamansi on top and then you have like the soy sauce on the side.
Because the experience is removed. Right?
Yeah.
I feel like we're so fast paced here that I would, on the go, I'd be like, yeah, give me a tocino burrito.
Right.
I'll take that.
Exactly. And that one's delicious.
Fucking good.
I love the
Tocino's
tocino burrito.
like a candied either chicken or pork.
Tocino
My
in Spanish is
parents-
bacon.
Yeah, exactly. My parents make their own tocino. It's so good.
Anything that parents make is just so, except for my father, is so upgraded. Like my mom makes food. Sometimes it's just a little too much for me that like it's like, I don't know, like I don't eat a lot of, there's some dishes where it's just all vegetables or bitter melon. I don't know what it
Vegetable
is
soup.
about bitter melon. Do you like bitter melon?
What's a bitter melon?
Bitter, it's literally bitter melon.
Melon.
Yes, it
Bitter
tastes
melon.
bitter.
Yeah, think of it as like a zucchini that's like
Ooh.
or a cucumber, kind of a zucchini cucumber mash,
but bitter.
with completely bitter. And it's called ampalaya. I love it. I love it. But the bitterness, you do know how to take it away, right? Or like at least make it like less bitter.
You kiss your mom.
I don't.
You have to put it in salt. Yeah. Salt water. That's what people do with eggplants.
Then what's the flavor after you just
like
whatever you cook it with.
Really subtle bitterness, kind of like a kale.
Subtle. Oh,
you know how kale is like bitter?
Yeah.
But like it's not too much.
I don't know if I've noticed kale's flavor.
Yeah, it's just kind of there. It's just kind of tough. Like, and I know that kale exists after you've chewed and disintegrated everything else.
It still feels like kale.
It's just there. I don't know. I mean, like, kudos to you. You have eaten some wild shit. Like, what else have you eaten?
That's like super wild.
Yeah.
I've had snake skin.
Nice.
Just the skin?
Yeah, that's what my uncle said.
And what happened to the meat?
It tastes like chicken.
Oh,
Yeah.
the skin
A
tasted
lot of
like...
things
Or like
taste
chicken
like
and like
chicken.
fish, like kind of chicken and fish mashup.
Scaly chicken.
I just remember when I ate it, I was like, okay.
Is that a good okay, bad okay?
Like, like 6 out of 10. Like I
Okay.
wouldn't like eat this on a daily, but
Sure.
what else have I eaten?
That's how I felt with alligator, where I'd be like, this is cool. I don't know if I ever need to eat
haven't had
alligator.
I heard
again.
it tastes like chicken.
It
I
has
feel like
that-
everyone says everything tastes like chicken.
So that's what everyone says, and what I've determined is it all like is reminiscent of chicken. It like feels like chicken
Maybe,
when you
yeah.
bite it, but it tastes like it just kind of has like a nebulous taste. It tastes like it was fried what I had, so it tastes like fried blank.
Like
you know?
it's more so popularized because it's kind of controversial that,
Yeah.
oh, shit, you're having alligator.
And then like I imagine the snake, right? You say it tastes like chicken and fish, right? It's like scaly, so your brain is like scale, so it's like fish.
the fish.
But
and
then like the non-nebulous meat flavor, so chicken. It's just like it's
Yeah.
just
Okay.
that's how I see
agree.
of it.
Interesting. All right,
Frog,
you've had
have you-
alligator as well?
no, I have
Okay.
not.
We had frog,
I have had frog,
frog
legs.
which tastes like
well,
chicken.
any kind of frog.
That
yeah.
also tastes like chicken?
It tastes like chicken.
That one does taste like chicken,
Yeah,
and
like-
it peels like it bites
actually
like chicken.
like a wing.
Yeah,
Oh.
Yeah,
What?
yeah, like the leg.
it's like
I just
remind
can't
yourself.
imagine eating it. I think I'll try it if it's there, but like I just hate thinking about the... It's like going into a restaurant where they display the lobsters that you're gonna order. I can't.
I want to look at
just
that
can't.
motherfucker right in the face.
You wanna-
I want you.
You're gonna develop a relationship with the lobster.
Yeah.
No.
And
I'll
then
get him.
just
Give me
be
the
like-
glove.
No, I can't do that. I will rescue that lobster. Just bring it to me dead already. I don't have to see it.
Aw.
Yeah. That's the type of person I am.
I like to want to know like, it's like the
Cute.
lobster that gets picked, but then like the people leave or whatever, so they put the lobster like back in the cage. And he's just like, oh fuck, that was a close one.
Guys, I have so much
Do you
to
know
tell
what they
you.
do up there, guys? They rip your butts off and they eat your legs and they suck the meat out of your claws and then be like, Larry's fucking crazy, bro. That's not what happens up there. And then they get thrown in a boiling pot of water and die instantly.
See, that's fucking terrifying to me. I mean, I feel like that's yeah, it's like similar to. I feel like there was a Pixar movie that kind of depicted that.
Finding Nemo.
Finding Nemo.
I was
Exactly.
just gonna say that.
Okay, what else have you eaten? What's the weirdest thing? Or do you hate that question as well?
Or is there a place you want to travel that you want to like try their food?
Oh yeah. Okay, 2 questions.
mine's
Weirdest
cooler though,
thing.
right?
I mean, weirdest thing to people that I've eaten is balot for sure.
Sure.
Okay.
It's not weird for me, but it's weird for other
Two
people.
people, yeah.
Or
Which two?
even like chicken intestine. I've also had chicken feet, and
That's not
Chicken
bad.
feet's pretty popular.
Yeah.
yeah, I hate the nails. Like I can't.
Don't eat the nails.
I can't.
Does anybody eat the nails? Don't they spit that part out?
I don't know.
I don't think
Probably.
you're allowed to eat the
I
nails.
fucking hope so.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know about the rules in the Philippines because you guys have weird like food laws, like only this at night and only this before 7 a.m. and you have to suck on the toes. And
You
then
guys know that like Persians also have that, right? Like where they have hot foods and cold foods.
yeah. Italians do too. Like you're only supposed to have cappuccinos in the morning and
Hot
like,
foods in the sense of like this makes you feel hot, and this food, cold
like-
foods this make this.
Or I think it's like if it's hot weather, you eat a certain food.
It's
If
like the Mormon sense of hot drink, where like hot drink is anything with caffeine in it, and it's just like, oh, is that what you mean?
as opposed to like here, I think of a hot food. I'm like
Chili.
like most
Chili's a
food.
hot food.
I was thinking like temperature wise, like this chicken
Like
came on a
soup.
plate. Yeah.
ramen. Question. Country. The rest of the Philippines, yeah, I want to eat like in every single province, every single island, because it's different.
It's a lot of islands.
Every single thing, like adobo in different islands, is cooked differently.
Yeah.
Like some of them have coconut milk, some of them have,
Interesting.
some of them don't have any soup. Like some of them are like super dry.
No soup.
Yeah.
No
some
soup for you.
Whoa, dry adobo?
Yeah, some of them are cooked in banana leaves.
As opposed to a bay
That's a
leaf,
good cooking.
right?
No, like
What is it?
in,
In
a
the
banana,
banana
leaf.
leaf.
In a banana
Yeah,
leaf.
like steamed.
That's what I love about this. What's the thing called where we lay banana leaves all on like on a table, and everyone just eats with their
Kamayan.
hands. Kamayan, yeah. Okay,
It literally means like hands.
Finger
yeah,
food.
yeah, kamayan.
Kamayan
Yes.
hands.
Like a fish boil when they dump it all on the table. And
Yeah.
Yeah, that
boys.
shit's dope.
Yeah.
That's
Or
real
boodle fight. That's what they call it too.
good. A what?
Boodle fight.
Boodle fight.
Yeah. Kamayan or boodle fight.
And they say it.
Boodle.
Boodle. They
Boodle?
Filipinos say it like that.
I'll have
Boodle.
one boodle fight,
Boodle
please.
fight. They call it a boodle fight. Yeah.
Why a boodle fight?
I don't
Who's
know.
fighting?
I call it kamayan. So
That's all I've heard.
I've heard
It's a
boodle
nicer
fights.
word.
I know.
Do you what? And so the Philippines feels like home to you, even though you've been to all these places.
Yeah, definitely.
Do you like English food?
What do you mean? Like in England?
Yeah, like
English
fish
food.
and
bangers
chips.
and mash?
Yeah, and like mushy peas
Love
and
fish
shit.
and chips. Love fish and chips. I love their chips.
Yeah,
It's so
yeah.
good. I also it's weird because it was the first time I also like found out what sparkling water was. So
Sure.
anytime
First time you had sparkling water, you're like, "What the fuck is this?"
Why is it
when you go to a
spicy?
restaurant over there, they're like
Always.
still or sparkling, right?
Uh-huh.
Like the water. So then my dad explained to me what that meant, and I'm like, why is water sparkling?
Mm-hmm.
So then of course I started with a sparkling water, and then I was like,
Send
I
it
hate
back.
this.
Yeah.
What is this?
Really?
When I was little,
You have
of
to be
course.
23 at least to enjoy
Exactly.
it.
Well, because what I think about sparkling water when you first have it as a kid is just like, oh, this is like soda without all the
sugar.
flavor.
Yeah.
And rather than thinking, switching your mindset and thinking, this is fun water.
Oh,
yeah.
fun water.
Fun
I
water
like
is what I
fun
call it.
water.
Look at you already practicing to be a dad to convince your
This
kids.
is this is fun water.
You don't want this. This is fun water.
It's also when you go to any fast food restaurant, no one ever touches the soda tab, right?
Oh yeah.
That's like where the Sprite is.
Yes.
Because it's a secret.
Alcoholics do when they have their cup half full of vodka and they want like a vodka soda.
Oh, there. I mean, but not at a fucking In and Out.
You'd be
Unless they
surprised.
bring it to yourself. You're right.
I don't know. I saw it in a book.
What, that alcoholics do that? That's, I don't know. It's I'm very envious of well-traveled individuals because as much as I am part of the culture, I and as much as I love my culture, there's so many gaps that I need to fill in.
And that's why I'm here.
That's why
Like
you're here.
in California.
I thought that's why you meant you're in the studio. Was to
Well, also
educate
maybe
me.
there too.
She's here to fill your gaps, bro.
Happy to fill any gaps. But I'm also filling gaps in my life too, where I'm learning every day. So I'm part of the Filipino American community here in obviously the San Francisco Bay Area.
Yeah.
But in San Francisco right now, I don't know if you've heard of Soma Pilipinas. Have you heard about it?
No.
In south of Market, that area.
Okay.
So it's now called Soma Pilipinas. And the city of SF has actually funded or gave funding to a group of Filipino Americans to make it better and create like an entire neighborhood
Wow.
that like, thrives essentially.
And you're a part of that community that is
Yeah.
helping with
Yes.
developing that.
Exactly.
Wow.
So I'm helping, I help where I can and I want to be able to help more. But I believe this started around the very first like big foodie festival was called Undiscovered SF in San Francisco.
I'm familiar with that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I think that was 2019, something like that, 2018, 2019. And now they have, I think, 4 this year.
Wow, look at that.
Yeah, so they're growing, and then now they also have these spaces, like wellness spaces, where you can go and like heal and like learn about your culture and like ask questions that you can't necessarily ask your U.S. history teacher because they don't know, So it's really interesting. Like they want this space to be kind of like ground zero for anybody who wants to learn about Filipino culture anywhere in the world. So yeah.
Ground zero.
See, that's beautiful, and I feel like that must add to the type of person you are. You function with a lot of energy, a lot of positive energy. You say you're energetic, and there's different types of energetic, but it's very positive.
Yeah.
And you function out of love, and you function out of purpose, it seems, because ever since, we didn't really talk in high school or anything like that, or even the years afterwards, and it wasn't until social media that we were like reconnected. And then just seeing your posts, it's very inspiring to those that share this community of being Filipino or this community where that you can find of just being a brown person or just finding of culture, right? You're adding so much to the community and filling in those gaps, which is beautiful. And to see that from like a distance just from my phone is just like a very inspiring thing. So thank you for that.
Yeah.
you do a lot. You're a social media marketer. You just started your own podcast called the Hungryish Podcast. That's dope. Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
Why this late did you start a podcast? I'm sure you've had it on your mind for the longest time.
Everyone asks me this question, like, why aren't you a podcaster? Like maybe like 2017, people wanted me to be a podcaster. And I'm like, I need to graduate. I need to
finish this or that.
finish school.
No one's ever asked us that, and we just started it. So that's a good thing.
Stop all the time.
And I also, like, as I became like more of a marketer, I lived in LA for 5 years, and I went to school there. I went to college there. So from Paris, I moved to LA, and I went to USC, and then I studied entrepreneurship, advertising, public relations, marketing, like all of that, and kind of really delved into social media marketing at the time, because that's when like Instagram sort of popped off, and it was really fun for me as a student learning about this app that could change the world, and it has, you know? Yeah. So I really sort of delved into that, and then realizing that I have student loans. And so I was like, okay, I need to pay off these student loans somehow. So I worked in corporate for 2 years down there. And then after that, I worked at Honda. And then after I worked at Honda, I realized like...
Toyotas are so much better.
I'm going to shut my mouth. I was like, okay, I really want to work for a startup, because I was a social media community manager for American Honda for 2 years.
Wow.
And what I did was I worked on community management for all of their channels, for all their social channels. And I also worked on their music, like music space. So I did like Honda Stage. So they sponsored festivals, and I got into like influencer marketing, and, you know, met a lot of celebrities and all this stuff.
Did you meet the robot? Did you ever get to meet the Honda robot?
No.
Oh.
No. But he is like, there's a replica.
He's around, right?
Yeah.
So you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. He's on campus.
I bet he is. He's got a hard job.
Yeah. I realized that I really liked the energy of social because it matched mine. And so I wanted to move back home and like match that energy at a startup, because corporations, they already have like a brand Bible, like they already have things set. All you have to do is sort of follow them, right? There is room for creativity, but I wanted to be a builder. I wanted to be a part of a company that builds a brand. So then I moved back home in 2020, and I worked for this startup ed tech company called Little Passports. And I was their very first social media manager. And at the time, everybody was telling me like, Christine, it's 2020. Everyone's inside. You need to start something like now. Then I was like, no, I really want to focus on like startup world, and like, I don't know when I can network here. And because I had no network at the time. Whereas in LA, I have a network, right? And it's really hard to do anything in my industry without a network.
People.
Yeah. So, you know, I felt like super lost in a way, because working from home, you know, was like, I'm an extrovert.
Yeah.
What?
And and I really love to work. So it just became this thing where I drink like cups of coffee a day, and it was unhealthy. It was really unhealthy. Like I would not leave my apartment. I would just work. And it took a while to realize like, I'm not writing anymore. I'm not even singing or playing the piano anymore. I'm not doing the things that I used to do for fun.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, hold on. What's happening? You know? So yeah. I mean, I think everyone was going through that during the pandemic too.
Of course.
Yeah. The podcast came along the idea came around probably 21 when my boyfriend looked at me and was like, you're not doing anything. Like he had a serious talk with me. He's like, you're not doing anything that you said you were going to do. He's like,
oh, that's a real observation from a loved one.
Kept me accountable. He's like, you're Christine Bumatay. Like you do shit. You're not doing shit right now. You're just working. And I'm like, yeah.
And he had all these ideas. Of, like,
I've had all these ideas. I've had, like I said, like I also studied entrepreneurship, right? So I've had like business ideas, like literally on my phone for years that I just haven't executed upon at the time. And he's like, why don't you start a podcast? And I'm like, what am I going to talk about? He's like, I don't know, your life. You're interesting. And I'm like, no one's going to listen to that. You know, and it took a couple years where I'm like, there has to be a niche that I really love, that I know that I can work in for 5, 10, 15, 20 years.
Yeah.
And it boiled down to food, because it's It's who I am.
And what a good name for it too. Hungryish Podcast.
So at first it was actually going to be noodle on it.
Ah.
Yeah, like let's noodle on it, like let's think about it. But I realized someone else already had it.
Let's fight that person. Let's take it back.
I'm like, ugh.
But Hungryish,
I know. That one's more
I'm
fun.
very partial to.
Yeah, no,
And
same.
it's so descriptive of what your podcast is.
Yeah.
Because it is about food
Yeah.
and more. Right?
Yeah,
That's why
exactly.
Ish.
Yeah,
Yeah.
ish. Yeah. So season 1's all about every season's going to be different in different cultures. Probably next season's actually going to be about Mexican food culture.
Nice.
Because it's like living in LA and like majority of my friends are Mexicans and like
It happens. It's not your fault. It happens. You know what I mean? You don't choose your friends.
I love it so much. I feel way at home in a Mexican household. And I love the culture.
Because there's so many similarities,
yeah,
right?
Exactly. Exactly.
From my Latino friends that I have, and having been invited to their homes and their family parties, you can identify all of the analogous factors that you can find in the Filipino house. There's always that particular uncle that's way too drunk.
Exactly.
The auntie that's always asking if you're hungry. The food that is everywhere. The very scary cousins and the very nice. It's all. There's so much.
The white boyfriend.
The white boyfriend. The white boyfriend. That's what
Who's that guy? Like, that's Chuck. Like, oh yeah, Chuck. Oh.
When you introduced your boyfriend to your family
In the Philippines?
yes,
How did they react?
How did they react, and how did he adapt?
Oh, man. Well, I have spoken Tagalog to Ryan for the past 3 years. Like, it's not just when
Really
I'm
break
mad
him
at
into it,
him
yeah.
or whatever. It's like
Yeah.
I speak to him. And so he speaks some sort of Taglish, Tagalog and
Gotcha.
English.
Nice.
And he speaks back. So when he went home with me, it wasn't like some culture shock for him. He was already hanging out with like my family a lot. And my relatives already knew of him from high school when we first started dating.
Makes sense.
And they just thought like it was such a beautiful thing that he, came to my home country because he knows that it's so important to me.
It's a big deal.
I told myself and my family that I would never take home a guy ever to the Philippines unless I knew like he was like the one. So that was like a big deal for me.
Wow.
Because it's something like people here, like I love my relatives and stuff, but like I didn't fully grow up with them, So like when they met Ryan, it was a big deal to me, but it wasn't like a huge sort of almost impossible thing where you take your white boyfriend home to the Philippines in where you grew up.
Not quite guess who's coming to dinner.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then you kind of like show him around and he's just like gets it, like he didn't say anything. He wasn't like, oh my God, it's so hot, or like, oh my God, there's mosquitoes,
Wow, not
or
even that.
nothing. No, it was me. I was like, I always kind of bitch about the heat.
You were the one
Always.
complaining.
I'm
You're
like, oh my God,
fuck,
it's so
why
hot.
am I back here?
Right. Where I'm like, it's hot. I need ice water. I need like all this ice cream and all this crap. I've always been like that since I was a little girl. My parents just think it's because like I have a hyper metabolism and like energetic. So I'm like, I'm naturally going to be sweaty all the time. So like heat will just make it
You're
worse.
always running hot.
And all
Exactly.
the
I
balloons.
get that.
Yeah.
All the
so-
balloons just keeping
Makes
you warm.
hot. Makes sweaty.
Yeah, but there was this one time we were in Palawan and we were in this hut, right? We were eating lunch and we were in a hut and it was about to rain. So when it's about to rain, there's like flies, essentially. And we were in like an island that was lived in by people who weren't necessarily, I mean, they're not rich, right? So some of them were were like taking their laundry and like doing this in the back, and like it was just chaotic, right? Some of them, their houses are made of like cardboard and things like that, and like they were drying fish in the front of their house, and it like just imagine there's house, there's the beach, and there's the hut, right? And you're surrounded by like people, like houses. There's like fire ants everywhere. Like there were like fire ants on the hut, and like it was really hot. And it always gets hot before the rain because the humidity, right? So
Of course.
he's just fucking eating with his hands, and he's like, "I'll show you the picture. It's hilarious."
I love that.
He's eating with his hands, and he looks at me like, "This is great, dude."
He's Filipino. He's an honorary Filipino.
That's what I tell him. But
Good for him.
Yeah, but it's, I don't know, like if there was a time that I felt that he was like the one, that was it. Where I looked at him.
What other moment?
Yeah, like my brother was getting eaten by mosquitoes like next to me, and he
They're
was,
getting pulled away by giant wolves.
and he was like,
And then Ryan's just there,
"Ate."
just like, this is
He's
fucking
so
awesome.
good.
He's like, it's not the fire ants you got to worry out for. It's the police ants you got to watch out for.
Where the fuck is it? Hold on, sorry. We have a hell of pictures. Hold on.
Nice.
And then you could send that to me and I'll throw it up on the podcast.
Aw. Yeah, I will. Hold on. Oh, there it is. And he's like sweating. And we're all fucking sweating. And it's just this like, look at this. I mean, I think it's
I
adorable.
love that. Already
That's
from
adorable.
a distance, that man belongs
the
there.
sweat-soaked shirt.
Like,
He
you know
was
what I
secretly
mean?
born there.
Like, look at the background. You know
Not
what
the
I'm
only
saying?
one.
And he's smiling so big.
Yeah. Yeah. He's the best.
Perfect.
Anyway,
Shout
yeah.
out to him. Shout
Yeah,
out to him.
Shout out to Ryan.
I know that you have your heart out. It is 12:24,
Okay.
so we'll get you out of here real quick. We usually end the episodes with the improv scene. We'll make it super duper short,
Okay.
so that we could get you out of here because I don't want you to be late for your
Okay.
thing.
No, it's fine. We can go until 12:45.
Oh,
Okay, sounds good.
so it's gonna be a really long improv
it's
scene. then.
gonna be a
We're
20-minute
looking
improv
about
scene.
the React structure. Let's have a beginning, middle, end. We can have callbacks, characters that come back again.
We're
Let's just
planning
do a short. Let's just
way
do a
too
short
much.
one. You know, forget it. We'll just do a short one.
You've done improv before.
Yeah.
'Cause you were in theater.
Yeah.
We had all done theater. You've done it all.
I haven't done it in years though.
It's okay.
I'll just
Neither
go
have
off
we.
whatever you guys say.
You got it.
Let's
Just
do it.
act off your instinct.
Yeah,
You're an
exactly.
actress. You've performed before.
Long time ago.
What is acting, Christian? Acting is
Reacting.
Reacting.
Yeah, we get it.
One more time. Acting is
Reacting.
reacting.
Oh no, that's
Whoa.
reacting.
We are. Huh? That is.
That's
also
called being
acting.
scared.
All right, your turn to react to this. Huh?
Huh?
Perfect. And we are all actors now in this room. So let's go ahead. We're gonna do an improv scene. The improv scenes that we usually end with can be about nothing. They could be about everything. They could be about a specific topic that we talked
Okay.
about on the podcast.
Okay, you lead. I'll just follow.
Okay, sounds
Yeah,
good.
you go.
All right, you want to say the words?
Icky, icky, bang, bang, shicky, shicky, stang.
Ladies and gentlemen, it can't be that bad.
All right, next, come on forward. Your passport, please.
Okay. Yeah.
Christian,
Yeah, hi.
what's your reason to visit?
It's for vacation.
Yeah, okay. Who are you visiting?
I'm going to visit my relatives in the Philippines.
Clearly, you just got off the plane here in Manila, so.
Yeah, definitely. I'm just really excited. It's my first time. Everyone just thinks that I should visit the
Philippines. This is your
motherland.
first time here?
It's my first time, yeah.
You don't have any other stamps in your passport?
No, this is I just got my passport last week, and so I was able to actually.
Stand aside over here. We're going to get to you in just
what?
a second. That's
Okay.
fine. It's just fine. Go on. Next person. Come on up down. Come on down. Who's next?
Hi.
Hi. Your passport, please.
Here you go.
Thank you. Oh, wow. Hi, welcome back. Oh, look, you've been here a bunch of times. Look at all these stamps.
Yeah.
Are you with this gentleman? Are you guys traveling together?
Yeah, he's my friend.
Okay,
Yeah,
you're going to
this
have you
is-
stand aside as well, if you don't mind. We're going to need to have a
We're
discussion.
both going to stand aside?
Just because you're flying together, we want to make sure that you keep your party
How long
together.
is this
and
gonna
stuff.
take?
You know,
Yeah.
it takes as long as it takes. So it is
we
what
have a
it is.
banana leaf party to get to.
I bet you do.
Yes.
I bet you do.
What is that supposed to mean?
What is it supposed to mean?
What is it supposed to mean?
What is it supposed to mean?
I'm confused because if she's gone here, how many times
Mr.
now have you
Baltazar,
gone here,
Mr.
Christine?
Baltazar, please put your hands down. Mr. Baltazar? You were saying?
How many times have you been here now, Christine?
A lot. I was born here.
She was
Yeah.
born here. Is that not a free pass into my
What
country?
if? Oh my gosh, I have an idea.
Oh, this is going to be good.
An idea.
It's not like I have, duties
So
and things to
duty
do.
free is right next to you,
Yeah,
right there.
Yes,
Do you have a favorite like food or like
wow.
drink?
I do. I have so many favorites.
Would you like any of them?
I would love all of them, but bribing a federal official is probably actually not going to help this process go any
Well,
faster.
Technically, we could invite you to our party, and that's where you could have.
Well,
These
now we're
foods.
getting somewhere. Mm-hmm. Now we're getting somewhere. Mr. Baltazar,
Yes, that's me.
do you guys think you got room at this banana leaf party for one more?
I think yes. There's never not room, but if I may ask,
Yeah, go ahead.
can you just tone it down on the hostility?
Well, I believe we're just having a conversation, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think
So
that'll be fine.
You're the only one, waving your hands around.
Okay, fine.
And screaming, and now you're asking me. Mr. Baltazar, why don't you go ahead and, is that your bag?
That's my bag.
Why don't you go ahead and pop it up on the table here for me? Thank you. And I'll just, if you don't mind.
Oh, you want me?
I mean, I'm going to take a look.
Okay.
It's my job. And I'm going to. All right, that's good.
What did you just do there?
I just was searching for any
What did
kind
you
of,
just do there?
I was looking for any kind of contraband. Make sure you didn't bring any plants or.
You just unfolded all of my perfectly
I
organized
had to
folded
make
clothes.
sure that there wasn't any plants or
Is this
seeds.
what happens
or
every
foreign-
single time you come here?
Hey, Mr. Baltazar,
Yeah.
please. Look, we all want to get to the banana leaf party. Okay, so we're gonna do this the right way. I have steps that I need to follow. It is what it is.
Okay.
Okay. Your carry-on, do you mind?
Okay.
Is this your laptop?
It's my laptop.
What's the password?
I don't think that that's necessary. Christine.
I
Does
don't
this
think it's
happen?
necessary.
I mean,
Thank
it is
you
part
so
of
much.
it. I'm just trying to do my job.
Do you want to go to the banana leaf party?
It's really cool.
Are you holding the banana leaf party now over my head, like as if it's some
I'm
sort of
just
bartering
saying,
chip?
there's nothing
Because I thought
wrong
we were
with
just
my
you're going to
carry-on.
be my
If you wanna
friends
come.
and I could go to a party with
you wanna
you.
come,
And
that's
but
fine.
we
It's
could
a
be
great-
friends. I still have to do my job though.
No, I understand that. No, but I'm just saying, do your job, but don't. This is not doing your job.
I just need the password.
You don't need the password.
The hint is it says the hint's baby bottle. What does that mean?
Baby bottle pop.
Baby bottle pop. Okay. So-
All right, excuse me. All right,
well,
sir. What's your name?
My name?
Yes.
Yeah.
My name is Federal Agent Bill Barnes.
Bill Barnes.
Bill Barnes. Okay, Bill Barnes.
Bill Barnes, do you live here?
Yes, I do. Well, I mean, not here in this airport. No, but I do live. I have a house in Manila.
Okay, very cool. Who do you live with?
I live with. You know what? I'll be asking the questions here, and
No,
everyone's
I'll
been
ask
really,
you questions.
been really cool up until
Do you
now.
know that street in Mandaluyong? It's called Sergeant Bumatay. You know
No,
what
no,
that
no.
is?
I live in the gentrified area.
Do you know that
You
street
know that street?
called Sergeant Bumatay?
Sergeant Bumatay. Huh?
Have you seen my passport?
I did. I recognized it. It had a funny little stamp on it that said
Yeah.
national.
Yeah.
So again, she's good to go. I'm not searching her stuff, so I don't know why we're making it. I can spotlight and check her bag, but that would seem invasive, wouldn't it?
It's invasive to me. You already just saw my tax returns.
Your what?
My tax returns.
And I told you I didn't need to
That
see
was
those.
the last. Yeah, you unlocked it. Do you want to go to this party or not?
Look, is my invite to the party determined on like whether I let you guys through or not?
Well, we're gonna be late, and we still have to buy our stuff.
Yeah, and you can't get inside of my family party without me.
You. I guess that makes sense.
So can I get through? Bill Barnes.
We're gonna hold your bag here, though.
You're such a
It's okay.
fucking
We can
asshole.
buy. We can buy.
I
stuff.
Okay,
guess-
fine.
It's not up to me.
All right, cut to Bill Barnes in the middle of this Kamayan party.
Hey, do you guys have like normal foods or like maybe like a bowl?
Stop! You're one of those.
I thought you lived here.
What?
I thought you lived here.
I live in a Hilton.
A Hilton. You said
Hilton
you lived in a
Hotel.
house.
A Hilton house and garden.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh.
What the? I mean, I don't look at me. My name's Bill Barnes. You think I grew up here?
No,
Never
we know
know.
you didn't.
No,
We
no.
thought you lived here and had soaked into culture.
No. I'm American.
All right, end scene. You're the most frustrating man. I don't know why I was actually getting upset at that. Beautiful. And that is improv. Welcome back to some improv. There we go. All right. That was a good time. Christine, before we leave, go ahead and plug all of your socials. Where can people find you? What could they listen to? And all that
Read,
jazz.
see, hear.
All right. Let's see. I am on Instagram at the Social Gal. That's SOSYALGAL.
Love it. Great handle.
Thank you.
those
And
letters.
my podcast is at Hungryish Podcast. You can find it on Spotify.
Perfect. Beautiful. And soon to be YouTube eventually, right? Because there's going to be some video
We
aspects.
shall see.
Don't worry, because I'm sure it's going to eventually come. But
shall see.
we're also excited for all of that.
Thank you for
You
having
have
me
a bunch
on the
of
show.
yes, of course, and this will not be your last time. I think in the future we'll collab again.
Yes.
But loved having you on. This
You're
has it's taken way too long for this to have happened for as long as we've been.
I mean, there
socially
was a fucking
connected.
pandemic, you know?
That is true. That is true.
Yeah.
But before you go, look into the camera, into the
Okay.
barrel of your camera, and leave the listeners, leave the baddies with a word, a phrase, or a saying.
Any saying.
Any saying, like a piece of advice, whatever you want.
Oh my God.
It doesn't have to be meaningful. It doesn't have to change the world. We've had people say some silly stuff here. Yeah.
Okay. If you haven't gotten your passport yet, get your passport and travel out of the country.
Perfect. That's an attack on me. Baddies, you guys know where to find us. You can follow the podcast at ICBTB Podcast.
Yep, on the website icbtb.com.
Yes, you could follow me personally at Christian Has Asthma.
You can follow me personally at call_me_Jesus.
And we just started Threads. We just started a Threads account. We just transferred everything from Instagram over to Threads. Was never really a big Twitter guy, but I'll see if I'm a big Threads guy. And we'll be posting some silly stuff there, and we're going to figure out social media that way. But,
It's nice to hear.
yeah, that's all we got. Christine, thank you so much.
Yay! Thank you.
Till next time, and have a good one. Say bye to the baddies.
Bye, baddies.
Bye, baddies.
Till next time.